right, we're going to start today with a tongue twister. So I'm going to have to read it first. I'll put the words up here on the screen in a minute, but here we go. This is what it's going to be. A big black bug bit a big black bear and made the big black bear bleed blood. Okay? You ready? Let's do it again. A big black bug bit a big black bear and made the big black bear bleed blood. Do you think we can do it faster? Let's try it out. A big black bug bit a big black bear and made the big black bear bleed blood. Oh boy, this is getting pretty crazy. Let's see if we can do it even faster. You ready? Here we go. A big black bug bit a big black bear and made the big black bear bleed blood. Boy, I'm tripping up over myself. Saying tongue twisters is fun, but when we're nervous, we can sometimes have a hard time saying what we want to say. And you know what? In our story today, someone was afraid of getting tongue-tied when he talked. Can you guess who that is? Okay, did you guess? If you guessed Moses, you're absolutely right. I'm going to read from Exodus 4:10, and I'm going to start in the New International Version. Moses said to the Lord, "Pardon your servant, Lord. I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue." Now, there's some big words in there, and so I'm going to read it from the version called The Message, and this is what it says. Moses raised another objection to God. "Master, please, I don't talk well. I've never been good with words, neither before nor after you spoke to me. I stutter and stammer." Well, we know that Moses was an Israelite. We know that he was raised by Pharaoh's daughter. He was raised in a royal Egyptian family. And all of the other Israelites were slaves there of those Egyptians. And as slaves, the Israelites worked really hard, and sometimes they were not treated well at all. One day, when Moses was about 40 years old, he went out to the area where the Israelites were living, and he saw that one of the Egyptians were being really mean to the Israelites. And as he stood there watching them work, he saw one of the Egyptians beating an Israelite. That sounds pretty terrible. It was one of Moses' own people, and Moses was so angry that he killed that Egyptian. And, Moses tried to keep what he had done a secret, but, I mean, come on. Someone had seen it, and the news about what Moses had done just spread. So, guess what? Uh-oh. It even got spread to the palace. So, do you think Moses might have been in trouble from Pharaoh? And the answer is yeah. Moses knew that he was going to be in big trouble if Pharaoh caught him, and so he ran. And he kept running until he got to a place called Midian, and that's over the border of Egypt. And he hid out in the wild, empty places of Midian for 40 years. So if he was about 40 and he hid out for 40 years, he's about 80 years old when all this is done. During that time, Moses got a job. He was taking care of sheep in the desert, and he probably never expected to see Egypt again. So now he's about 80 years old, guys. Remember, he was about 40 when he killed the Egyptian, and then he was in Midian for 40 years, so he's about 80. Well, even while Moses was hiding out in Midian, God knew where he was. You can't hide from God. God's everywhere. He knows everything. And God had a plan for Moses. And during that time, the Israelites that were back in Egypt, they began to cry out to God and pray for his help. They had asked God to get them out of slavery. And of course, God had not forgotten them. So he had been working out his plan to free those Israelites from slavery. For 80 years, God had been preparing someone to lead the Israelite slaves from Egypt. And who was that? You guys are too smart for me. That's right, Moses. Obviously, you guys are good. Do you think Moses was excited about his new job? God had a brilliant and simple solution. As Moses led his sheep near Mount Horeb one day, he he noticed that a bush was on fire. But the bush wasn't burning down into ashes, it just kept burning. Moses came closer to see what was going on, and then God's voice spoke to him from the bush. God called Moses by name. Let's see here. I'm going to read a passage real quick. Okay, here we go. Exodus 3, 6 through 7, and I'm reading in New International Version. Then he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. At this, Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. The Lord said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. Well, we know that God had chosen Moses to go to Egypt and demand that the new Pharaoh let the Israelites leave. And, well, Moses was afraid. God reminded Moses that he would be with him. God told Moses his own name. I am who I am. That should have been enough for Moses. Only the one true God could have that name, but Moses still had lots of questions. God told Moses to go to the Israelite leaders first and get their help. God also gave Moses power to do miracles. God gave Moses power to make his stick into a snake by throwing it down. God gave Moses power to make his hand infected with leprosy and then make it healthy again. But Moses still wasn't convinced. He complained that he wasn't good at speaking. He whined until God had had enough. God told Moses that he would send Moses' brother Aaron to speak for Moses, and then Moses wouldn't have to talk, but he would still have to do those miracles. It was time to return to Egypt, so Moses went home, packed up his family, and started for Egypt. Aaron met him on the way so they could go to Egypt together, and when they brought all the Israelites' leaders together, they told them what God had said and showed them the miracles God had given Moses power to do. When the leaders heard how God cared about them in their misery, they bowed and worshiped God. Now Moses eventually learned to have confidence in God instead of worrying about things he didn't think he could do. And Moses felt as if his big job of talking to Pharaoh and leading God's people was too much. He must have felt as though he was in over his head. But God was right there, giving him everything he needed to follow God's instructions. You guys, have you ever gone swimming and you wear a life vest, or you go in a boat and you wear a life vest? Well, when you're in that boat and you're wearing that life vest, or at least for me, I feel a little bit more confident in that water. And when I remember God's promises, I have confidence to follow God no matter what happens or how much I'm afraid that I'm not good enough. That confidence in God makes me glad. And that brings me to our Bible verse today, which is Jeremiah 17:17. Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. Isn't that beautiful? You can have trust and confidence in God's help too. As you do the things you know that God wants you to do, God will help you and he will give you everything you need, just as he did for Moses. Guys, you know, we are in such a crazy time. School isn't the way it used to be, at least right now. Awana's is going to be a little bit different. And even our children's ministry has been so different this year. It's been so strange to try these new things that have been very scary for us adults. I'm not a public speaker. There might be other people watching this video other than you guys that I know and love. And I have to be confident that God's working through all of this. I have to be confident to know that he's in control of everything. And I'm so excited. He's offering all these great new opportunities for us. We're learning things that we never thought we'd learn. Even at my age, I'm still learning new things. And that's exciting. It's scary sometimes, but it sure is exciting. I'm excited to tell you that in October, in 2 weeks, I think it is. My goodness, that time is just going by so fast. We are going to do our lesson via Zoom. So in your mailers is the information that you need to send to me. Talk to your parents, send it to me so you can get an email invite to the Zoom meeting. The Zoom meeting will not be posted on these on the website. They will be by invitation only. And let me see what else you need to know with that. We're still going to put the lesson online, but I'm excited because I'm going to be able to interact with you guys via the computer. So we're going to play some games. Maybe we'll be able to sing a song. I don't know. But it's only 20 minutes. It's from 9 a.m. to 9:20 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, okay? 20 minutes. That's all we got. You'll get the lesson in there, but we'll definitely get a lot of interaction. So I'm really super excited. I love you guys, and I'm praying for you. I'm praying that the school has started off as best as can be, and that you guys are just giving your all. Be confident. You're going to do great. We're proud of you. We miss you, and we love you. Bye-bye.